Welcome back to Noise Avocation Podcast. I am Ryan here with Jeremy as always, and we have Steve and James from Satanic Terrorist. Steve was on actually like a couple years ago with Happy Casualties. If any of you who have been listening this long remember that interview. So thanks for taking the time to jump back on. Cool to actually see you face to face this time, because at the time when we did that, we were not doing video yet.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, also, I want to mention for everybody out there, I'm wearing a hoodie, a jacket, a vest, a thermal, a t-shirt, and an undershirt. And this guy is in sleeves. No sleeves.
Also, I don't know how you're wearing all that, because we just got done eating Hot Ones hot sauces.
I'm cold,
and
man.
I'm still warm.
I'm cold. So,
It's fucking hot over here.
you guys are in Venice, you said?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and we're in Michigan, so must be nice.
It's quite the polar opposite in weather. But one, again, sorry that it took a minute to kind of get this going. Like I said, the end of the year gets a little busy for us, but I'm glad that we were able to actually make it happen. So this music for this band is a lot different than Happy Casualties. Even just judging by the name, obviously. But tell us about how you guys started making music together.
Well, I remember, I'm gonna start from ground zero. So I remember I got the name Satanic Terrorist on Instagram because before music, I was designing clothes, making clothes, and I wanted to start like another brand that was like a bit more like gory and kind of like, or almost like borderline. I can't post on Instagram. So I already had the name, and I've always been listening to black metal. I wanted to try to make like a one-man band, but I can't play any fucking instruments. And I've known this guy, he used to come into my job and he was always, black metaled out, and I knew he played in bands. I seen him perform one time, and I remember I kind of like subtly hit him up asking like, "Hey, do you know any like what did I say? Any like tips on, I don't know, vocals?" I think it was just like a BS way to kind of tell him like, "Hey, I'm starting this band. You want to just fucking join?" And then I think he sent me a YouTube video, and then like he was just like, "Hey, maybe I can just join." And I was like, "Perfect. Let's just fucking do it." So it was kind of like I wanted at first to start a one-man band, but like I always had in the back of my head like, just like I'm gonna have Steven on it.
And then you guys just started, got together, just started ripping out songs from there then, or
Just
what?
started making music, man.
Well, he lives like we live so close to each other. I remember like last time I talked to you guys, we talked about how close I am to the beach. I'm like about 2 miles from the beach, right? And he's basically just like a half a mile, maybe a quarter mile just directly east of me. So I just come over, bring my my Strat and like my suitcase with my pedals and cables, and he has a really small little amp,
little PV
amp, and we would just I just plug the guitar through the rat pedal into the amp, because I never use a lot of pedals like with the Happy Casualties or with this. I only use just like a distortion pedal. That's it. I don't use like any other pedals really.
Yeah, you just,
And
it's all guitar and fucking amp.
yeah, man, I pretty much just live sometimes I'll have like a reverb pedal for like solos, but for the most part I really just only use a distortion pedal. So I basically just started coming over here. We just do once a week because Orion, my drummer in the Happy Casualties, he moved back to Buffalo, and so I wasn't playing with him as much. And so me and James, we just get together once a week, and I just be kind of riffing, and he'd tell me like some ideas. Like he'd say, "Oh, like what about something that kind of does this or has this type of feel to it?" And I'm not really a metal guitarist, so I had to sort of like figure out like how to kind of do what he was looking to do. And then we just have certain inspiration about certain things, and then we just kind of slowly build up each song. And the way that the songs are on that EP is just kind of the order we wrote them in.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, and you know, it works. Him not originally playing like a lot of like metal style riffs. Like when you hear music, it's more just like more, I don't know, traditional kind of rock and roll with
That's
like
what I
black
would
metal
say.
vocals.
It's like
And
black,
I think
like they say, black and roll. You know?
black and roll.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely. Just like you said, because you traditionally don't play metal, it makes it work. You know what I'm saying?
And it makes it sound a little different too.
Right.
Like Doomed to Walk the Earth as slaves of the local hood rats, which funny song name. But when I first heard that track, I was like, man, this almost sounds like it's like a heavily distorted, almost like pop punky type of riff that goes through there. Like it's not your traditional just like balls to the wall, I'm going as fast as I possibly can, like just running this distortion through the wall to where it's, like old school lo-fi type of stuff. And it has that aesthetic to it, but it also, like, you can tell where a little more of your musical background is with that as well.
Hmm.
Well, we wanted to have like songs that, like, with the Happy Casualties, a lot of times I write the songs, so I get it all and I kind of hammer it out, and it's done a lot faster. Whereas in this project, we take our time with each song. Like that was kind of the last one. I think that on that EP, I think that Beaten into Submission by God, and
That's my personal favorite track.
Thank you. Thank you.
thanks, and Walking the Blade. Those are the two that we really kind of spent a long time thinking about. And as he's coming up with the lyrics, he'll tell me certain things, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, well, what about this? And so it's a nice collaborative sort of environment.
Hmm.
And we take more of our time doing it, as far as getting every song sort of right. But the first song, that Ambush North, that was something we kind of just threw together because it was like our first song. We didn't know exactly what we were doing.
I don't know if you can hear that, someone riding by their bicycle with the boombox.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that?
You know, yeah. Ambush North is our first one, and I think both of us were a little critical about it. From what I've showed most people, the EP who've listened to it, usually Ambush North is like their favorite song. It's a little more fast paced, kind of, thrashy kind of sounding. But I was critical about myself because in the studio, we only had like what 5-10 minutes left. I only had 2 takes to record it, and it certain parts, I think like the third verse, I wasn't too happy with like the tempo how it came out. Maybe I could have re-recorded, but yeah, like that was a little critical myself on that one. And then but that's, yeah, like I said, that seems to be everyone's favorite one, most people's favorite one.
It's definitely a good way to open it up. That's for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, it sets the tone for
Yeah.
what you're getting yourself into for the rest of the album.
Mhm.
So on the album cover, is that you on there?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's me.
Okay, because I was just looking at it and I was like trying to like line it up, and I'm like, okay, there's a Medusa or something on his arm. Like I can't see your left arm, so maybe.
Oh yeah, where is it? Right,
Yeah.
right there.
Okay. You said you guys went into a studio to do this. Was it all like one day, or was it multiple days that you went in, or you just kind of already had what you wanted to get out in mind and just went in and knocked it all out in one session?
Well, what was funny is we were working on the project and getting the songs together, and we didn't have a drummer, and it was like around June, I think, and I was driving out in kind of like Mar Vista, and I saw this guy with like long hair and like a indiscernible t-shirt. So I pulled over and I was like, "Hey, you play?" He's like,
Fuck
"Yeah."
yeah,
And
dude.
I was like, "What do you play?" And he's like, "Drums." I was like, "Wait a minute, I'm gonna pull over." And um, so I started talking to him, and his name's Matthew Holderman, and he's playing in like some bands that were like he's out in like Pomona, and he was kind of busy with these bands, and they're like our influences are really just straight up either like rock, old school metal, or just black metal.
Mhm.
But like Matt is into like all this kind of like dying fetus or whatever, all that other stuff I don't really know anything about.
Mhm.
And the bands he's playing in, like October Flame or whatever, they were like, I couldn't really understand what it was, but I was like, look, dude, we're gonna record 4 songs and I'll pay you to play if you're down. And so we got in the studio with him, we did 2 rehearsals, and then we went to a rehearsal or a recording studio that's actually just 1 block away from here with my buddy Matt Lynch, and we recorded the 4 songs, uh guitar,
Instrumentals.
drums, and vocals for Ambush North, all in what was it? Was it like a 6-8 hour session?
I think it's about 6 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah, I think we recorded all the instrumentals one day, and that one day we did. I recorded Ambush North.
oh shit.
And then Chris Moriarty, the bass player for the Happy Casualties, he lives out in Ventura, and he's more of a metal guy too. He's like into like what was that one band we always make fun of? Fetus Annihilator, Infant Annihilator.
Infant Annihilator.
He's
Infant
all into like that
Annihilator,
type
yeah.
of shit. But I sent it to him. I haven't even seen him in months because he lives like far away. We sent him the tracks and he just laid down the bass. So it was like it was a good synthesis of me and him doing songwriting. And I think we were kind of like, a lot of the stuff we were doing was kind of like ripping off like Vorna and like Finnish black metal, like Satanic War Master, shit like that.
Mhm.
And then Matt with whatever kind of metalcore, metal stuff, and Chris was whatever metalcore, metal stuff, death metal stuff. They brought in their influences too. And then the very last track, that Love in Vain, that
yeah.
I did with my buddy Jack Lavoni in his garage, and that's just like a heroin-y dungeon synth track.
Yeah, I listened to that on the way over here, like to try to make out what you were saying in that slow down, like whatever part you did. What do you got going, where it's like, "Rah," I can't, what are you saying, Is
I was
that,
saying the needle is warm. Those are
oh,
lyrics
okay.
from Skinny Puppy's Love in Vain.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
It's like a Skinny Puppy cover almost. It's just like it's saying the 2 things that are in that song. Like the needle is warm, and then also someone is playing the record backwards because it's like the end of the record.
I see.
Oh shit!
Because
that's
I'm
cool.
listening and I'm waiting for something to happen, honestly, and I'm like, what the fuck? Now it all makes sense. Because I
think-
didn't know if
Well,
you're
you know what's funny with
playing
really
a
quick with that is
synthesizer
that
or
like
what.
I listened to some dungeon synth because I wanted to like we were interested in that, and I was listening to some dungeon synth because we were thinking it'd be cool to do something like that. And all the dungeon synth was really like clean, and it
Mhm.
was really kind of like medieval and
Yeah.
sort of like witches and slaying the dragon and stuff. And we're like, nah, dude, we're in Venice, man. This has to be something about
It's got to
destroying
be
your life with
yeah.
drugs.
It's got to be Skid Row.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense for sure. Like your version of black metal for,
Well, it's almost like industrial meets synth, kind of like, because Skinny Puppy had that element to it. And by the way, before I get going on anything else, I think out of all the interviews we've done, I believe, unless I'm mistaken for some other random story, that's the coolest story of how we got our drummer that I've heard so far.
Agreed.
Like that was like typical like Airheads like movie type of thing where you're like, yo, long-haired guy, you play? I do. Get in. We're going to do something.
I'm all about that though, dude. When I'd be running down at the beach, up until then, I'd see somebody with like long hair and I'd be like, hey, you play. They look like a metal guy. And the only problem is it's like out here they'd be like, nah, or whatever. But this guy, he was not from LA, he's like from Pomona. So he was like, yeah, what's up?
Yeah,
it's like I'm really busy though. I'm like,
that's a different. I was gonna say that's the difference of East and West Coast. Because if you did that to people here, they'd be like, "Fuck you, motherfucker! I don't know you." Like,
yeah, straight up. And I might be one of those people that's like, "Fuck you, keep walking."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know you, bitch. Like,
yeah.
What if somebody came up to you, Jeremy, and they were just like, "Hey, man, you play music?" You'd be like that with them?
No, not if you played music. but I have a disdain for people, so I might tell them to fight. It depends.
It might depend
all
on the
depends.
day.
It all depends on like the person.
I think it would depend on the approach.
Yeah, and the approach for sure. Yeah, if it was like you play music,
But just generally, like if you
if
like
you pulled
the
over in a
typical,
car and were like
yeah.
went to get out of your car, I'd be ready to fight.
Yeah,
Because I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been in some
that's what
weird
I'm saying.
situations.
That's the contrast of East and
of the,
West
of the
Coast
contrast.
there. Like,
Yeah.
because I've always
Well-
heard like you guys are always like real laid back and chill. Like, because I know a lot of people that live in California and everybody's just like super chill, laid back, and I'm like, and I love it. Like, not even saying anything wrong with that. But when you meet some East Coast like New York people or like Detroit people, it's like a whole different feel.
Well, the people I would see out here, because we were looking for a drummer, or just you'd be looking for someone who plays a lot of times, like bass or drums, kind of. Well, I mean, I had Ryan, but the difference here is sometimes I would be like running, and I'd see somebody and they look like they play, and I'd be like, "Hey, you play music?" And it wouldn't be the East Coast thing of like, "What's up?" Like it would be more like it'd be more like too cool for school kind of vibe.
Yeah.
That's the vibe they would
Yeah,
give
all
me.
right,
Like,
yeah.
oh, what?
Yeah.
You know, like, and you know, another thing, just it reminded me, you would guys would appreciate this. There's a thing that goes on out here where you'll see guys that are kind of like these hipster, like dudes, because there's like certain like hipster kind of restaurants and stuff around here and
Mhm.
hipster fashion places, and there's these guys that they'll be wearing a like a logo by whatever the hipster restaurant or the hipster food thing is, but it's made to look all black metal-y. But it's
Oh yeah,
not a
I've
black.
I've seen some stuff like that before.
That's lame.
Yeah, but
dude.
it goes on a lot out here, and I'd be running and I'd see somebody with like this logo or whatever they'd be wearing on a hat or shirt, and I'd be like, "What is that?" And sometimes it's made to look like Leviathan or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And I would ask them about it, and at first they'd kind of have like the sort of like the too cool for school thing, but then you kind of then they'd realize like, oh, they're talking to somebody who they're ripping off, you know, the metal style, and then they realize they're put in their place, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm the poser.
Oh, that's what's up. Yeah.
They're like, it's this
Perhaps
really
they
cool,
are
really
one.
cool vegan restaurant. Like,
Yeah.
I had
No,
I
straight
have,
up, that's exactly a vegan restaurant would
Yeah.
have a black metal logo on it.
No, I've seen it. I was there was this girl when I was at the gym the other morning. There was this girl that had a really cool looking like black metal style shirt on, and I seen the front of it, and I was like trying to like decipher what it is, and then she walked by, and there's like just a bunch of cats on the back, and I was like, oh, okay, it's not a band. Never mind. Like, I guess I
You know,
won't
the most
ask.
fucked up part of the most fucked up thing is like when you get to like the vegan restaurant. Like I've actually like I went to this vegan restaurant. I didn't know it was fucking vegan. And the same thing, they had like merch in their shop, and it was like this like black metal fonts. Yeah, I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
I've
vegan.
seen-
I'm to the point in my life where it's like that shit really used to bother me when I was younger, because it, you know, you feel like whatever it is, you're like, this is ours. Why are they taking it? I mean, that's exactly how it felt. And now it's like everything's got a fucking price tag attached to it. You can't take it personal. You know what I mean? It's like you know you're down. Fuck them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's how I look
What-
at it.
That was the thing, Jeremy, that was with black metal, especially in the mid to late 90s, when you couldn't even really get that shit.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like
Yeah.
I worked at a record store, and black metal CDs never came through there. This is like the late 90s, early aughts. Like that shit was rare. And it was like, dude, this will never be co-opted. It's way too extreme. And now you have like these people who are like total, I don't want to say bougie, but you know, like,
No, that's exactly what it is, dude. They're
yeah, and
bougie.
they totally co-opted it and made it into part of their brand. And
and have no idea where it actually comes from, you know, or like the history behind it or whatever. And then it's been repeated in everything, you know, not just black metal. But
Mhm.
Such
think
is
so.
the way of the world.
Yeah, yeah.
It's gonna happen with everything, whether we like it or not.
like if
just
we
gotta
played
kinda,
like I'm looking at a Mayhem banner right here. If you play Mayhem for that chick with the cat shirts on it and then like read her some lyrics, she's gonna think you're like some disgusting pig. You know what I mean? It's like
Or she might be like, "Take me home."
either
I
way,
don't know.
it's scary.
Like,
Yeah.
Well, that would be the East Coast, West Coast thing. Because out here, definitely she would be calling 911. Out there,
Yeah,
might
she'd be
"Take
like,
me home."
yeah, and then I'd be calling 911. I made a mistake. Yeah, we got some crazy women out here.
they're everywhere.
Yeah, I got one at home.
So earlier, like you said, that you had the name Satanic Terrorist. It started off as a clothing brand, correct? And then you just
Yes.
kind of incorporated it into as a band name.
Yeah.
Okay. And you wanted it to be a solo project, but now you have the both of you. And is the drummer that you guys picked up, is he going to be playing if you guys plan on doing any live stuff, or was he just kind of like a studio fill-in?
He was a studio fill-in, but I think he called Steven the other day, and he seemed pretty stoked about. I don't know, I guess like we put out the EP on YouTube and on SoundCloud, and then we had another interview with was a Black Metal Artist, the YouTube channel,
Yeah.
you know, and he seemed like what was he saying? Like he
He
kinda wants
was
to be a part
more,
of it.
he was sort of more interested because I mean that's the thing is like just because I've been doing it so long that like whenever I'm doing anything musically, I just don't fuck around.
Right.
It's like I just want to, however the project is going to go. Like if we're going to record an EP or we're going to record an album or we're going to play shows, like we do it. And that's it. That's just I never fuck around. I never say, "Oh, we're going to do this band," and then just nothing happens with it. So I think that Matt just really liked that.
Mhm.
And so I think that if we did playing shows out here is I think kind of tricky just because like all the black metal shows they always have like 9 bands on the bill and everybody gets to play for like 18 minutes or something,
Mhm.
you know, and then you're sort of done, which would be fine for us because we don't have a ton of material. But then just to go and like load up a bunch of gear and do all this just to play for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes or something. But I told him, I was like, yeah, dude, we're gonna record this EP. We have the songs. We'll practice twice. We'll record it, and we'll have it out by whatever time. And
Dude,
I
that's
mean,
cool
maybe
that
it was
he's
a little
down
late.
though. I mean, like
Huh?
that's cool that he's down to continue. Or if you guys want to do more, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because just
Mhm.
from what we can hear, it sounds, it just sounds like he was always there. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
nobody'd know that you just picked him up on the side of the road before you recorded it. You know what I'm saying? So
They will now,
you know
as
what I
soon as
mean?
this comes out.
Yeah, definitely right. But
But yeah, I agree. It does sound like he was kind of like always the plan to have as the drummer. Like if you were like, you could have told me like, I've known this dude since high school, and I just hit him up and he said yeah, and it would have still been just as believable as I found him on the side of the road.
I just and to what you said about being serious, I know at least from over the years of all musicians and people starting bands or starting podcasts, whatever, you always have like the guy that's like, I'm doing this and this and this and this, but then like they don't do it. And I would imagine that Matt has run into that a lot, and now he's like, oh shit, these guys are actually serious. You know what I mean? So maybe he's hanging on.
Dude, that your word has to be your business
Oh,
card.
for sure, dude. Word is
What you say
bond.
you're gonna do.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many people that we've run into that it's usually like it's a stereotype for a reason, but the people that talk the most do the least. And the people that are actually going to do it just do it. Like we've had tons of people ask us like, well, how do you do this for podcasting? Or how'd you start this? Like, I'm going to start this and do this for my podcast and this for my, and then I've never seen a single one of them
Yeah,
start.
they don't
Like,
start.
I'm like, I don't know. We just started it. And then, we sucked at first and then eventually got a little bit better. Like, you just got to do it. You can't.
You guys
like,
have had a really steady, continuous growth.
Yeah.
Since like the 2 years or whatever since I found you guys, it's just been consistently getting more professional and better.
I
And
appreciate
I
that.
think that there's no pretension with what you guys are doing, and that's why I was like talking to you guys, because you could just talk about music or
Right.
whatever, and it's not a lot of like out here in LA, dude, it is just people like bullshitting each other all the time about all the stuff that they're supposedly doing that they never do.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
all horse shit. Like it's all a facade. I don't know.
No, it's like you're painting your own image for yourself.
I mean,
But I mean, like
that's what I get.
like
on
at the end of the
Instagram.
day, like we're fans of the stuff we're talking about. Like the people we
Exactly.
talk to, we're fans of, and like we find bands. Like when you guys hit us up, we had no idea who the Happy Casualties were, and like now we've talked to you for a few years now, and you've like continuously supported the show, which I appreciate, and like we meet so many cool people that like to me like that's all like worth what we're doing, like just meeting like-minded people or unique artists or stuff like that, and that's the whole experience for us. Like, and like you said, we don't have any pretentious like, well, we're better than this guy doing it or whatever. Like, we just do it, and if people want to hear it, they're gonna hear it, and if they don't, then that's cool too. Like, you have the ability to click on and move on.
Yeah.
But in out where you guys are, because I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, in California, is there like a big like black metal scene, or is it kind of more like just like the select group of people that you're like, oh, I've seen that guy around for years type of thing? Because it's so warm there all the time. I feel like black metal's like a icy cold thing usually. So
I would I'll say this, when I'm walking in public, it's rare that I see someone with like a black metal shirt or like I don't know, a battle vest or whatever.
probably because it's a
Um,
black shirt and it's hot out there.
yeah, right. But when we do go to these black metal shows and you go enough, you definitely do start seeing the same people over and over again. Sometimes I go with him to a show and I'll lean over and like, oh, I saw that guy at a Demon Sea, or I seen that guy. We saw a Profanaticers. You start seeing the same people sometimes. So I would say maybe it's more of like a small, yeah.
You were
There's
saying like
definitely
there
a
were
scene of like you find like a group of like, I don't know, anywhere from like 20 to 80 people, on Instagram that live, especially in like East LA, and that there's a place out there called First Street Pool Hall, and like they all have like black metal shows
Hmm.
sometimes, and then you go out there and you'll see a lot of the same people there, and they're all really like cool.
Hmm.
you were saying that if you were to get on a bill, there'd be like 9 bands.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, to me that's a healthy scene. 9 black metal bands. That's amazing. It's fucking a lot to me.
Be like black metal, war metal,
Just
and
a little bit of mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's cool though. That's pretty healthy scene.
Yeah, that's good. The people who are really in the black metal scene over here, like they definitely are like, I don't know, they're really in it. They really support, like I said, you see the same people around. So no, it is good.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, that's
No, and that's good to
That's really
see
cool.
that like if you have somebody that's into it, they're willing to be out supporting each show, making sure they're able to continue having the shows, and
yeah. They're not
it's
just going
important
to the vegan fucking
yeah,
restaurant.
yeah,
and
it's
buying the
important.
shirt.
It's important to have those people that are making that scene, whether it's black metal, hardcore, punk rock, hip hop, whatever. Like you need the fans, the supporters, like the people to continue to have that to be thriving.
Hmm.
So for this album, well, I don't know if we're calling it an album or an EP, whatever you guys would like it to be noted
EP,
as.
self-titled
But,
EP.
yeah. Do you guys have any plans of pressing it up physically, like tapes, CDs, records, anything?
We do. So when we're making this, so all of 2025 from January 1st, 2025 until like, the beginning of this year, I was working from home. So I was kind of like scraping by, doing what I can do. And I always told him, like, we're gonna make some CDs. Let me just get, I got a job now. Let me get some money together, and then we'll make some CDs. But I think that's the next thing. We're gonna make some CDs. I don't know, maybe some patches. I don't know what else.
We're trying to get a track to record to do a split single.
Hmm.
with hopefully another band out here.
Oh, that'd be
Okay.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about this not too long ago about maybe it was another
It was
band.
it was Worm and Dream Unending.
Yeah, we were like
that brought it
talking
up.
about how we like I love splits in band like metal bands like that or punk underground stuff because it's
Mhm.
like they always like, all right, we'll know you guys, but we won't know who this other band is, and that other band might be fucking badass. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good way to learn different bands. Yeah, I'll say their name. We'll shout them out. We went to the show and we saw this band. They're called Satanic Warfare, and they were pretty fucking good. So we just thought of saying it thought it'd be cool, like Satanic Terrorist and fucking
Yeah,
meet Satanic Warfare.
yeah. That's definitely cool. I like it.
Satanic Terrorist Warfare, the split would be
It
there you
works.
go.
It
Yeah,
works good.
it flows. I could definitely see that coming across my Instagram
And
page.
it makes a really good cover for like a million different ideas.
That I think that, and then if he's gonna make some CDs of the EP, that doing the split,
Mhm.
and then we're starting to kind of write material, hopefully to do like a full length album, but probably won't be able to do that until later this year, early next year or something. But we kind of have the song for the split sort of worked out.
Mhm.
So and you know how it is, like Matt lives in Pomona and Chris lives in Ventura. So I create like a group text on Instagram and do an audio recording of the song.
Mhm.
And so that they can kind of learn it. And then we'll go in the studio and we'll practice it. And then we'll go and we'll track it at the studio out here in Venice, probably.
Mm.
And then see about how we're going to put it out. But that's basically the itinerary of what we're trying to do in the next 6 to 8 months, I'd say. Get
Yeah.
CDs made of the EP and then work on the single for the split, and then just keep, and then some merch and stuff like that, which
Mhm.
is more his deal.
Mm-hmm.
I would also say, if it's feasible, depending on the cost, I would look into doing tapes too. Tapes sell like more than you would even realize, especially black metal stuff.
Yeah, I think anything physical copy black metal like really moves, really sells. People just like to.
Yeah,
Some new black metal people love
there's
to
a
have
whole
like.
market for all that.
Yeah.
Like there's people that just do tapes. There's people, that do all three: CD, tape, vinyl, whatever. But
Mhm.
I have noticed like dungeon synth tapes, black metal tapes. There's been like a few labels that we've interviewed that are pretty much like tape only. And there's a lot of people that are buying up tapes.
You sell a lot of tapes at the shop?
We do.
Yeah, tapes are crazy, dude.
We sell, well, lately CDs have been making a comeback, but for a while it was like vinyl and tapes were the two biggest sellers. I've been selling quite a bit of CDs lately in the last like month or two, which is nice because I'm able to like start stocking like new stuff that I would normally just stock record wise. I'm able to stock CD wise too, because for a minute it wasn't really selling. But now when you're getting into like $40 or so per record, people are like, oh, I can get the CD for $15 and I don't have to buy like this big stereo to set everything up. Like I got a car that has a CD player in it, or sometimes I have a car that has a tape player in it. So yeah, tapes sell pretty well.
Well, physical media is coming back, and it kind of had to come back because it's like you can't get everything that you want all on one kind of service,
Oh,
Yeah. I've read some stuff about DVDs starting to sell again, which for a while they were not. Like we had some for the longest time, and eventually we boxed them all up and put them in our basement because they were just taking up space that could have been something else. But with like, you get something put on a streaming service and they might edit like a part of the original movie to cater to whatever, or stuff like that. Or they're like, I could watch this last month, but now I can't. And like people are getting annoyed with that. So it's nice to see physical media of all forms like coming through, pushing to the surface, because records have been selling at a high level for years still, so that's not really all that surprising. But CDs, DVDs, stuff like that really wasn't for a while.
Yeah. I like having the
Yeah, you'll
physical,
have
yeah.
like bands like disappear from like Spotify
Yep.
or albums
Yeah,
disappear from
and that's
Spotify.
like a lot of politics now too, where they're like, we don't agree with whatever Spotify's owner's doing. I've seen that where a lot of bands then remove their shit, and it, whatever.
We
It-
had a
I'm a physical media guy. I have been for my entire fucking life, so like that's not gonna change. But
it's convenient.
yeah,
Like
it's
you're
convenient.
not gonna play your records in your car.
Right.
It I get somewhat of the politics, and I think we did this. We had a chat about this one time where we were like, is Spotify sort of a necessary evil type of thing? Because if you want your music heard by potentially millions of people, like Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp, like all those are like platforms that, 30 years ago, you didn't have those platforms for the potential of millions of people to hear your music. Now, it works against you because of how many people are putting out music, so it's hard to break through with the constant like in your face stuff, but it's almost sort of a necessary evil in a sense, but then I also understand the non-payment factor to it in that argument. So I get both sides, but I don't think everybody looks at the small benefit that it may have if you're a smaller band.
Oh, I totally have like the devil's advocate position on that because I see all these people that I know that are constantly like complaining about Spotify and you're not getting a living wage or whatever. You're having to work a job besides playing in your band or whatever. I'm like, dude, look, if it was like 25 years ago, you wouldn't have been signed.
Yeah.
Right. No, I mean
You know, like
you're
you should be grateful
100%
for
right.
the exposure you're getting. You wouldn't have made money 25 years ago
Yeah,
because you're
why
not
would you
like,
make money now? No,
yeah.
I totally get that. That makes sense. You should feel thankful that, people don't have to rely on payola at the radio station for somebody to hear your song.
Yeah, because it worked the same way
Yeah, it's
back
always
then.
yeah.
Like there's always been
It's
somebody
always a
finessing
fucking
a DJ or
Yep.
something like, I slipped you a bag of Coke to play this record a few extra times this hour or whatever. Like, there's always been that sort of element to it. And there's always been bands that have been screwed over that weren't paid anyways.
And you know how the payola works now, though, is that, and I mean, I just guarantee you the payola works now in the way that they don't, the record companies don't pay some radio station to play your song. They pay like certain influencers on TikTok to
Yep.
do
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
TikToks.
Yeah,
Or they pay Anthony Fantano. They're like, here, review
Yep.
this.
I watched him
That's
just do
payola.
Megadeth. I was like, somebody's paying him to do this fucking review. That new Megadeth
Some of the
album.
bands that he
Who?
reviews, like
Anthony Fantano, he did a
Oh.
review of the new Megadeth album, and I'm like thinking, and I listened to that album, and I didn't really care for it, but I'm like, why is he even talking about this album? And then somebody's
because
fucking paying
a
him.
million people are gonna tune in to listen
Exactly.
to it. Like,
Somebody's paying him.
he did. I had never. I'm not like a. I don't really watch many YouTube people like influencers or whatever, and like. The first time I ever heard of Anthony Fantano was when we did Sybaris.
Oh,
And
right on.
They were like, yeah, he reviewed our record on his page or whatever. Was it? I think it was Sybaris.
Yeah.
And it kind of like blew up from there. And I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And then
Yeah.
you see his videos, and I see him all the time now. And I'm like, I don't know that like some of the stuff he's talking about, he really knows what he's talking about. I could see him getting paid a little bit of finesse under the table to where he's like, yeah, sure, like I'll put you on my platform to talk about your album and boost your sales or whatever, but like here's what I need from you.
Well, it's like whoever Megadeth used to be on like Capitol, right? I think.
Yeah.
But
They still
whatever
are, I'm pretty
whatever
sure.
they would have paid, 20 years ago or whatever, 25 years ago to radio stations for promo, they pay to people like Anthony Fantano or whatever to do their review. That's how the exposure
Yep.
gets out there, is you pay these influencers, like, or like Steve Lacy. Like, my buddy was working at the studio where Steve Lacy, I guess, was just set up camp playing video games when he's supposed to be working on his next album. They're not like we're gonna just take this guy's whatever song he has and take it to radio and play it. It's like, no, we're gonna like hit up like 60 people on TikTok. They're gonna make a dance for it, and then that's how this record's gonna sell.
Yeah. It works the
That's
same
what we
with
need,
like
dancing something.
it works the same with items too. I mean, there's brands that reach out to brand ambassadors and content creators because it reaches more people and the marketing's cheaper. So like I get it from a business standpoint, but sometimes it just seems the marketing seems like very dull, stupid, and whatever, but that's just my personal take on it. And not all of it. Some of the people review these things very well, but yeah, maybe we need a dancing TikTok person
we
to
need dancers,
throw a
dude.
noise avocation shirt on.
We need dancers.
I think we covered most bases I wanted to cover.
We talked a lot of shit. That's what's important.
That's
guys.
what.
Yeah.
That's what's fun
This is-
about what's fun about doing this.
Man, that's like
but,
just it. I love meeting like you guys or whatever, talking with you guys in fucking sunny California. Here we are. But you know, that's why
but
we do it.
before we start to like get to wrapping things up here, and Steve, we asked you this question a while back, but before I get to that question again, do you guys have anything you'd like to plug, say, add, anything like that? As far as all your social media stuff, everything like that will be in all the episode descriptions. It's on below your video right now. So for anybody watching, go follow them on Instagram. Check out the album on Bandcamp.
I don't have anything I need to plug. I don't know. Just check out the Instagram. Check it out on SoundCloud, Bandcamp, YouTube. You know, in the comments, if you think it sounds good, say it sounds good. If you think it sounds like shit, just say it sounds like shit. You know, just
It's
check it out.
comment
Just
comment
stay
either
tuned
way.
for more.
Yeah.
So a while back you were on the show and we asked you this, and since it's been so long, I don't remember your answer, but we always ask people this at the end of our episodes. But outside of the genre of music that you guys are playing, what is something that you listen to that people would not expect you to listen to? And you can't say House of Pain because I can see your t-shirt.
Is that what mine says? I got this at Satanic House of Pain Tattoo, or what's it say?
House of Pain. That's a tattoo shop.
Oh,
guess
I was
so.
thinking of the Jump Around House of Pain.
Immediately
hip-hop
what I
group.
thought.
You want to go first on this one? What do you listen to besides?
That's a great name for a tattoo shop, by the way.
The-
But,
The best album of 2025 was Doja Cat's V. That's the best album. Second best was Deaf Heaven. Lonely People with Power. I saw them twice in 2025, but the best album was Doja Cat's album.
see, I saw Deaf Heaven like actually 10 years ago because I just had the memory pop up. I didn't like them when I seen them. Tried them multiple times, didn't care for it. And then this album came out and I kept seeing people talk about it. So I was like, well, I'll give it another shot. And it ended up being like in one of, I think it was in my top 10 or top 20 or whatever we did. Like, I loved
Nice.
the album. It was awesome.
It's so good.
They put on a good show.
Yeah, they're killer.
Yeah, we saw Deaf Heaven. People are looking at us like we're fucking, I don't know, like a bunch of weirdos. I don't know.
It wasn't a metal kind of audience. But that's my pick is Doja Cat. Her
Doja
last
Cat,
album.
yeah, that's a good
So
one.
good.
Yeah. And what was it? You said like what would people be surprised that we listen to besides?
Yeah.
Yeah, what you're known for playing.
I mean, I like mainly metal, but I like a lot of hip hop. I like I was kind of like going to a lot of those like SoundCloud wave kind of hip hop shows, so I do like a lot of that kind of stuff. But I like these two guys from LA called Blue Bucks Clan. I like a little bit of Baby Stone Gorillas, and then I like a lot of oldies. I really like Brenton Wood, Rose Royce, Dee Dee Sharp, the Delphonics,
There you go.
shit like that.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's all good. Brenton Wood's dope.
I love Brenton Wood.
Yeah.
I went to go see him, and like an hour before the show started, he like canceled. He was already fucking sick, and then a couple months later he passed.
Yeah.
Sucks. I'm gonna go home and listen to Delphonics now.
There you
Thanks.
go.
But all right, guys, we appreciate you taking the time to jump on the show and talk to us.
If anybody ever stops me and asks me if I play any instruments, I'm gonna remember this, and I'm not gonna tell them to fuck off. I'll be like, "Oh, hey man, what's up?" Be like, "My buddy Steve says that I'm supposed to be nice to people."
Hey, if they're talking to you about music,
Yeah,
man,
no, it's all
you
good.
know?
Yeah. Anyway,
Hey, maybe they'll ask you to join a band, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, next time we talk, Jeremy will be like, "So I'm drumming in this band. This
Yep.
guy found me on the side of the road." And, but all right, you guys enjoy the
dudes.
rest of your Sunday. Take care, and we'll be in
Thank
touch.
you guys. There you go. Thank you
All right,
guys.
thanks, guys.
Thank
Great
you.
interview, man.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.